AstrHori XH-2 250mm lens. My ETRS is I've done it again. Good morning and welcome back to the 120s. Today we are talking about light meters, not just any light meters. We are talking about AstrHori light meters. See previous videos for notes on whether or not I'm pronouncing that right. I previously brought you the AstrHori AHM1. You will remember that particular one because I took a piece of sandpaper to it. And now we are talking about the AstrHori XH-2. So let's take them out and have a look at them both side by side. This was the AstrHori AHM1, complete with bits of bare brass where I took sandpaper to it, as instructed in the instruction manual. I would point out. This is the AstrHori XH-2. Here they are side by side. You can see the difference in size. Not much, eh? And they are basically the same light meter. They have all the same specs, and inside they are basically the same. The only real difference is the form factor and a slightly improved build quality on the new one, the new XH-2. So they've learned from some of the lessons of the original, of the AHM1, and they've implemented all of those learnings into the build of the XH-2, hopefully to improve and make it just a little bit better. So important things to be aware of is, number one, 30-degree angle of metering, 30-degree angle of measurement. I'd say that's probably a good average angle, somewhere in the middle. It's not telephoto, it's not too wide, it's, you know, probably equivalent of about a 70mm lens or a 60mm lens on 35mm. Operation goes as follows. Two controls on here. We have a wheel and we have a button on the bottom, and that's it, no other controls. Push the button to wake it up. Good morning. And then the wheel is the thing that changes stuff. Two options, shutter speed priority and aperture priority. In other words, you can set the shutter speed and it will give you an aperture reading to match that. Or you can do it the other way around. You can set the aperture and it will tell you the shutter speed based on the light that it's measuring. Double press the button to change it. Double press again for it to go back again. Push and hold to change the mode. Two modes that you can work with within either of those, aperture priority, shutter speed priority, and that is constantly metering. Pushing the button makes it hold, and then the alternative is not constantly metering, only meters when you push the button, and you long press the button to switch between the two. So we've got constant metering, look at it, it's constantly metering. So that's constantly metering, and then when you push the button, it locks the last reading. It locks the reading. So I wanted to just take a meter reading now, push it, and it's locked, and we've got 1/10 of a second at f5.6. So let's now unlock it, and then let's long push the button to switch it to. So now it's not metering. So if we look closely, nothing changing. Yeah. But then push the button and it gives me a reading. A couple more things to talk about. Short push, long push. So you go click, click. Will take you down to change the ISO, which you then do with the wheel as well. Single click then takes you back. And that's basically what you need to know about it. So we're going to do the same as we did last time. We're going to use it as a light meter on the speed grip of the Bronica ETRS. I've got some work to do in London tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, I will take this out for a little spin and see how we get on with it. All right, I'll see you out there. First roll of film we're going to put in today, I think, will be, it's a nice sunny day, we're going to shoot colour today in the Bronica ETRS, same as last time, because it conveniently has a shoe mount on it. So yeah, let's get set up. So we're going to start with the 40mm lens, the one with the chunk taken out the filter ring. On goes the AstrHori XH-2. Oh, that is a snug fit. Right, that's starting to feel like I shouldn't be pushing it that hard. There we go. This is where my hand's going to be. wind on here. I want to push that button there just to take a meter reading. So that's good. Let's put some film in. So we start with a Portra 160. ISO on the meter is set. Let's go for a wander. What have I got on here? We've got an F4, shoot wide open. Okay, and then we'll just turn around and we'll take a meter reading over here. And we've got a 1/100th of a second at F4. So we'll put it on 125. And let's shoot this. And I've got that bloody multi-exposure switch on. It's hard to see with the speed grip on the camera. The first frame of this roll though was in fact many frames all blended together. Well done me. I then managed to mess up my video camera settings, so no more footage while shooting this roll, but here are the photos. Mostly nicely exposed, a couple a bit under, hard to tell if that was me or the light meter. Got myself together in time to film a roll change, Portra 160 again, and a swap to the 250mm lens. Go on, let's put on the 250. Let's do some long lens stuff. 250 is a bit longer than I might choose. I should have brought a different one with me. Let's just try it. The lighting is definitely not faring as well with the 250mm lens. I'm having to read between the lines quite a bit, which is reasonable really. I mean, it's understandable. A 30-degree light meter is giving me a 30-degree reading, and I would need to work out the viewing angle of this lens. It's probably more like 8 degrees, 9 degrees. It is a very narrow lens, but that's fine. So I'm obviously having to look at the scene, see what the light meter is doing with it, and like I say, read between the lines. Valid points for sure, but no photos to show from it, because after developing, this roll gave me one image and the rest of the roll was blank. On the ETRS, the shutters are in the lenses, so I'm guessing that the shutter is gummed up on my 250. So I'm retiring that one and heading out again. Right then, it is 24 hours later since I last saw you. We have discovered that the 250mm lens for my ETRS is fucked. That is the technical term for it. So I am now back out with the Bronica ETRS and the AstrHori XH-2 to put some more rolls through it. So we're going to do something different today. I've got the 75mm lens attached, which definitely works. I've checked it. We've got some black and white in. We've got Kodak T-Max 100, and I'm back out west and wandering towards the Severn being a river. So we're going to walk along the river, follow the Severn path. I've also got a remote release with me so I could do some self-portraits, although how I would meter that with the XH-2 is yet to be determined. So we'll start here with this classic view of the Severn Bridge. There's a chap climbing it just there, can you see? Rather him than me. So wake up the light meter, and we're going to push and hold. There we go. Get down to the ISO, bring that down to 100. Aperture priority, and we'll come up a little bit because we want a pretty deep focus. Let's take it to f16. Yeah, you didn't think it would be that easy, did you? Of course, on the ETRS, you can't fire the shutter without a film in it unless the multi-exposure switch is on. So overnight, I switched it to multi-exposure to test the lenses to make sure I didn't have the same problem again, and I forgot to switch it off. Again. Just for your amusement, here's the moment I realised. Are you fucking kidding me? I've done it again. Fortunately, this time I realised after just a few shots, so I was able to come back and do it all again. So it would look like everything had gone smoothly, but rest assured, I'm still an idiot. 40th, let's go with the, it said 50th basically, let's go with the 60th of a second. This is kind of an interesting scene. I'm not wide enough to get in much of the trees, but if we face kind of that way and we get a frame somewhere here, I might go sideways for this one, and then let's meter there, and it thinks 125, so let's just do that. Just getting some trees in the foreground there. It's crying out for a red filter, that one, so let's put some filters on. Let's do this. Go. Oh no, actually before we do that, let's see what this light meter thinks of it. So we've got an 80th at f11, and then we put the red, and it gives us a 13th. So it's basically saying 3 stops. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. A bit more sky maybe. Okay, we'll do 1 this way. So just walking further along the coast path, onto this exceptionally dark bit, which is kind of cool. So let's do a shot here. Meter says a 1/6 of a second. Come on then, let's put it on the tripod. Now that I've got it on a tripod, I don't have to be wide open at 2.8. Let's close it down to f16. 16, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Hello? What's happening here? It's not on multi-exposure. Why didn't that? I should be hearing a second click. Let's wait for it. Wait for it. My brain is starting to piece things together here. So the problem with my 250mm lens may not have been a problem with my 250mm lens. Yeah, I'm getting nothing. I think battery's dead on my fucking ETRS. Let's go home. Fuck! And it's day 3 of attempting to test this light meter, and I'm back in London again this morning. So I went home yesterday, changed the battery in the Bronica ETRS, and everything seems to be working fine again now. I've got the remains of the T-Max 100 in the camera. I've got another 5 shots on this. I think I'm going to stick with black and white though. There is bright blue skies, not a cloud to be seen, and some interesting shadows being cast across the London buildings this morning. So let's work with that. We've got the 75mm lens attached still, so let's start with that. 125, let's go with that. This lighting and these shadows are really causing some problems for this light meter, as you'd expect, as they should. Now let's meter for this bright building at the end, 320th of a second. Let's give it a 250th. We'll see what that does for us. This is the scene I'm shooting. Even the GoPro doesn't know what to focus on. You alright? Hang about. Here comes trouble. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, mate. So you're from which company?
I'm not from any company, mate. I'm just me.
You're taking a picture for this?
No, I'm not affiliated to any company.
Yeah.
I'm just me.
So this is private building?
I understand.
Yeah. According to the law, you're not allowed to take a picture of my all the access control and all that things, and
I understand. Yeah. That's not true, but that's okay. According to the law, this is a public road.
This is a public road.
And
listen, in the public road, this is private property. Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but just so you know, it's not true. It's not true.
Yeah.
So, Nice chap, but he's got himself wrong. Now, where were we? So the rules, the law in the UK is that on a public street, a public road, I can do whatever I want. The only law that governs taking photographs in a public place is the police can stop you if they suspect you are gathering evidence for the purposes of terrorism. That's okay, I don't mind him coming to ask. He's doing his job, someone's seen me on a security camera and wants to know what I'm doing, which is absolutely fine. A little bit annoying that people don't know the law, but he didn't try and stop me, and I only had a couple of shots left on the film before it was time to pack up and go home. Okay. So in amongst me screwing up repeatedly, I was actually using a light meter. Kind of forgot about that, didn't we? Yeah, so this video is all about the AstrHori XH-2 and not about me. It's not always about me, come on. I really like it. I think that it is well built, it looks good, it's functional. The styling of it definitely suits the Bronica ETRS. It kind of just blends in. It looks like it's a natural piece of the Bronica ETRS equipment. The 30-degree metering angle is, I mean, as with any of these things, you kind of got to work with it, right? So that is what the metering angle is, and therefore you need to use your brain. So you have a rough guess at what it can see, what's in the image and what's not in the image, and what is therefore metering and what it's not metering, and fill in the blanks for it. You know, it's not a supercomputer, it is a light meter. There is a reason why we still have a range of light meters available. You have spot meters, incident meters, reflected light meters, flash meters, and that the reason you can still get different types of all of those different categories is that it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get one single light meter that does all the jobs. Essentially, that it's not just a software thing, it's a hardware thing. The hardware in this is not compatible with being a spot meter and a reflected light meter. Obviously, a spot meter, we're normally looking at a 1 or a 2 degree angle of metering. And with a reflected light meter, we're looking at 30 plus degrees. So it's a different sensor, it's a different way of doing things, or certainly a different lens in front of the sensor. So here's what it is. It's a reflected light meter. It looks good, it feels weighty, it is not going to break the bank, which is one of the most important things, let's face it. Between the AH-M1 and the XH-2, functionally they're basically the same. However, form factor, I prefer this one. I do. I prefer the new one, the XH-2. It just feels, yeah, I don't know why. And I'm not even going to try and come up with a reason. I just prefer it. I like this one. If you prefer this one, you can. Obviously, I don't know what would happen if you took a piece of sandpaper to this, but I'm not going to try because I feel like it fits in with the styling anyway. Putting that little white ring around the multi-function wheel, I feel like that's kind of giving it a bit of a retro edge. Kind of feels like the wheels of a 1950s Cadillac, doesn't it? Anyway, I prefer that one. Do whatever you want. That's it for today. Loads coming up on the channel, so if you're not currently subscribed, please do subscribe. Link to where you can buy your 120th t-shirts down below. Loads of stuff coming up on the channel. Number one, next out is going to be potentially, I think it's going to be the RB67. I've got a new back for the RB67, so I'm giving that a second chance, taking it out for a spin. Then we're looking at a lomography LCA 120, which I've had out in Africa with me. And then after that, we're going to be getting back to the black and white paper reversal. I have spent the last month or so gathering lots of different options, lots of different paper options, and lots of different chemical options to see what is going to give us the best result with the black and white paper reversal. And the purpose of that is because I have this portrait box coming up that I was talking about in the cardboard box video. In the middle of building that at the moment, pretty excited about it. So loads coming up, come off the ride, and I'll see you next time, alright, bye!